What are we seeing?
Well, we have some votes trickling in from rural Indiana and rural Kentucky counties. Not really enough to make an assessment on. Now it looks to me like Trump is well on his way to carrying Indiana. Got a 41-point lead right now, but of course we're only talking about 21,000 votes.
Right.
Indiana is a state that Barack Obama won in 2008 in a surprise over John McCain, and since then it has trended heavily Republican like the rest of the region.
Yeah, Indiana is one of those states that flipped to Obama and then flipped back to Trump, which kind of shocked a lot of people. Earlier in the day, we were hearing some exit polls, and I got to caution you guys about exit polls. Number one, as we were talking to Patrick Basham about, exit polls are highly suspect just in the way that they collect the data, right? And second of all, we've learned that over the years, voters don't always tell you the truth, right? And there was an article that came out last week that said that of the Gen Z voters, 30% lied about who they voted for. Now, somehow I don't think that those are Trump voters saying, yeah, I lied about voting for Trump. But you can make of that what you will. But anyway, we had some exit polling coming out earlier, and this is where we got this number that the black vote was only 11%. What do you make of that?
Well, the exit polling, of course, is not ever going to be completely precise, especially the more we get into mail-in voting, people not showing up at the polls. Yeah, exit polling is called that because when you're leaving the polls, hey, what are your top issues? Who'd you vote for? And even then, it's got a large margin of error. Many times, as our friend Richard Barris has pointed out, this has led to campaigns making bad decisions. Like John Kerry thought he had the 2004 election in the bag. Al Gore thought he had Florida in the bag. So the exit polling is never 100% on point. But the estimated electorate, you said this was CNN, right?
Right.
This is a 71% white, 11% black electorate, which is a 60% gap between white and black. And that is 6 points whiter than it was in 2020. And as, of course, the United States ages, we become less white. So this is something that's a very positive sign for Trump, not to mention that the minority vote is expected to go for Trump by a larger margin than it's gone in many decades.
And even more important, I would think, is that one of the supposed advantages that Kamala Harris was going to bring to the campaign over Joe Biden was that she was going to bring in more female and more minority voters. And so far, based on what we're seeing in early voting in terms of turnout, say in Philadelphia, which was down 93,000 last week, just an amazing amount. Much of that is the black vote, right? We're seeing it in every state. In Georgia, in Florida, the black vote is trailing way below what it usually is. And so this notion that Harris was going to magically bring in a lot more minority voters seems to be a miscalculation, to say the least, on their part.
Definitely. Now, you have to understand, as the